Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us for our morning yoga class. My name is Michelle, and the class is brought to you by Mercy Health Stepping Out program. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat, and we'll start just by listening to the sound of our breath, trying to quiet our minds. Press both palms together at our heart center and let our chin sink to our chest. We'll set our intention for our practice today. Think about what you want to get out of your time on the mat. Lifting our heads, we can just have our hands rest gently on our knees. We'll let our left ear come to our left shoulder. Keep those shoulders relaxed and the spine nice and straight through all of these exercises. Bringing the head up through center, gently go to the right. Up through center. Left, through center, and to the right. And back to center. We're going to look over the left shoulder. Through center, we'll look over the right. Through center to the left. And to the right. Reset in the center. We'll let the chin sink to the chest. And then gently look up as far as feels comfortable. Back down and up. And center. We'll let that left ear come to the left shoulder once again. Bring the left hand down alongside us, and the right hand will reach up and over. Keep our shoulders stacked. And both sits bones anchored to the earth. Back through center. And lift the head up. We'll let the head go to the right. Left hand will reach up and over. And back through center. Lift the head up. Bring both hands up. And once again, with the right hand down to the left knee. As we straighten up, we'll look over the left shoulder into a seated spinal twist. release to the front. Both hands up. Left hand to the right knee. Straighten as we look over the right shoulder. And release to the front. Both hands up. And reach out in front of us. And with the exhale, sink towards the earth. Bending those elbows, relaxing the back, letting the neck loose and the head just grow heavy. Surrendering to gravity and relaxing. Walking both hands back to a seated position. We'll switch which foot is in front. I did it right in a row this time so I didn't forget. And we'll inhale up. Reach forward. And once again, sink towards the earth. Walking hands back. We're going to go ahead and let the legs come out in front of us into our staff pose. Sit up nice and tall. And flex those toes up. And gently fold forward. You can release the toes. Relax the back, neck is loose, head grows heavy. Rolling back up to a seated position. We'll swing our legs underneath us and come to our tabletop. So once we get to tabletop, we're going to check the alignment, make sure our wrist is in line with our shoulders and that our knees are in line with our hips. The knees should be hip distance apart. Keeping the shoulders active. Keep the core pulled in. And we'll do our cat-cow breathing to begin with. So as we go into cow, we take a big inhale, drop the belly and look forward. And exhaling into cat, we'll tuck everything in, that tailbone, the chin, arch that back up. And inhale back into cow. And just go back and forth between the two postures, following your natural breath. Let's finish one more rep. We'll meet in a neutral spine. We're gonna bump that left hip over to the side and look over the right shoulder. See if you can find your feet back there. Come through center. We'll let the right hip come out. Look over the left shoulder. And back through center. Toes will touch, and we're gonna walk those knees out as wide as our mat. Let the hips sink back to the heels. Arms are gonna stretch forward as far as you can get them before we sink into our mat, resting our forehead on the mat. If that's uncomfortable for you today, in your shoulders or back, you can always keep those hands back and stack them underneath your forehead. Rolling up to our tabletop. We are going to bring that right hand and we're going to reach up to the sky, opening up into a spinal twist. If you can, look up to the hand. And we're going to let that right hand swing down and then come back up. One more time, swing down and back up. Plant the right hand down. And we'll do the same thing on the left side. The left hand will reach up. Swing down and up. Down and up. Back to our tabletop. We'll bring those knees back into alignment with our hips. Walk the hands forward a little bit here, and we're going to lower down to the mat, onto our belly. We're going to press into our cobras here, so take it gentle. As we inhale, we're going to press into those hands and just come up maybe a little bit the first time and look forward if you can. Really watch those elbows being pressed in and the shoulders are pressed down. And as you exhale, you'll float back down to your mat. And we'll come up again, so inhale, maybe see if you can go higher. And exhale back down. And last one, inhale up. Exhale down. Slide those hands forward so we can come into our Sphinx pose. So our elbows should be in alignment with our shoulders here. We want to keep that neck nice and long so we are pushing out of the shoulders. Give it as much room as possible. Keep that chin up. And gently look over first the right shoulder. Through center, and we'll look at the left. Through center. We're going to lower back down to our tummies, bring our hands down alongside our body. And we're going to lift up to a locust pose. So first you can lift up the upper body, those hands reaching back towards your feet. And if it feels good and you want to keep going, go ahead and lift the feet up off of the earth. So you're balancing on your torso. Go ahead and lower back down. On your next inhale, go ahead and lift back up. And exhale down. Hands will come back up underneath our shoulders, and we're going to press up through tabletop. We'll tuck those toes under and press the hips up to a downward facing dog. Ooh. Walk out the heels, pressing one heel in at a time, stretching into this. I had conferences on Thursday, so I didn't get to practice, and this feels so good. I missed it. So we're looking in between our feet. You should feel your ears right in alignment with your arms. Tilt that pelvis forward. Press those heels towards your mat. Your legs will start straightening naturally. And take nice little steps. We're going to walk our feet up to our hands, coming into a forward fold. So our knees are gently bent. We'll rest our chest onto our thighs and hang out like a rag doll here. So the upper body is just nice and loose. Just try to let go. If you sway a little bit, your head should just rock. If you want to grab the opposite elbow with your hand, add a little bit more weight to that traction. Go ahead and release the hands, and we're going to roll up to our standing pose real slow with a one vertebrae at a time straightening. Your head will be the last thing that comes up. Make sure that tailbone is tucked under. All four corners of our feet have equal weight on them. Tighten those thigh muscles so they're lifting up off of the knee. Check that core. Are you pulling those muscles in? Shoulders are down and back. Tuck the chin and bring that head back a little bit to keep the spine in line. We're going to inhale those hands back up. And then as we exhale, we're going to do a roll down. So tuck the chin and roll all the way back down, just like we came up. And roll back up, so one vertebrae at a time. Hands will come reaching up to the sky. And back down. Go ahead and take a step back with our right foot and then the left foot into a downward facing dog. We're going to lower the hips to a plank position. If plank is not in your practice, maybe try a half plank, or you can always just go into our tabletop position. And then we're going to lower with an exhale down to your mat. Inhale back up to a cobra. Exhale back down to the mat. Press through that plank. Lift those hips up. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply. Look to the top of your mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. And then pull those hands down to our heart center, coming to mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Step all the way back to your plank. So either a half plank or a tabletop, but if you have plank in your practice, plank. And exhale to your mat. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale back down to the mat. Press through your plank. Lift your hips up. Downward facing dog. We're gonna tuck that knee into the chest to pull that right foot through your hands to a lunge. And then push off with that left foot, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. And we're gonna lift the hands up, coming into a chair. And press all the way up to a standing position, mountain pose. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to your plank. Lower to the mat. Exhale. Inhale, cobra. Exhale back down to your mat. Press up to your plank, lifting your hips to downward facing dog. Draw your left knee into your chest, swinging that foot through to a low lunge. Push off with that right foot, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. Exhale into chair. Press up to mountain. Sun salutations A and B. So good job, now we're ready to go. So let's inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to a downward facing dog. We'll shift our weight to our left foot. Raise that right foot into a three-legged dog. Keep those hips square to your mat. Foot stays flexed. Draw the knee into your chest. Really tuck in like you're doing a cat pose with your back. And then we're going to swing that foot all the way through for a low lunge. Coming light on our fingertips so we can look forward. And drop the back knee. We're going to lift up to our crescent lunge. If it feels comfortable today, go ahead and look up at those hands. And then we're going to drop left hand forward, right hand back. Cartwheel both hands down. We'll keep that left hand planted. Right hand will come up into a spinal twist. Right hand comes down. Lift that back knee for a low lunge. Right foot will come back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Shift our weight to the right foot. Left foot raises, three-legged dog. Knee to chest. Swinging the foot all the way through. Coming to a low lunge. Light on our fingers to look forward. Drop the back knee as we lift up into a crescent lunge. Right hand forward, left hand back. Cartwheel both hands down. We'll keep the right hand planted. Left hand will lift up. Spinal twist. Left hand down. Lift our back knee. Low lunge. Left foot comes back to meet the right into a plank. Vinyasa flow. So lower to your mat. Inhale up to a cobra. Exhale back down through your plank. Lift those hips up. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply. Look to the top of your mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to that flat back. Bring our hands up to come to chair. And press up to mountain pose. Hands to our heart center. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to our downward facing dog. Shift the weight to the left foot, right foot raises, three-legged dog. Knee to chest, we're gonna pull that leg through. We're gonna stand this time, so don't go too wide. Foot through to the hands. We're gonna rotate the back foot, so give a peek before you stand up. Your heels should be in alignment with each other. And we're gonna lift up to a warrior one. So that front knee is bent. Hips are facing the front. You can bring your hands up once you feel like you have your balance. And look up. We're gonna open up to a warrior two. So now our hips shift to the long end of our mat, our shoulders as well. We look to the front hand. And now we're gonna actually rotate on the foot a little bit as we do our twist this way. So, warrior two, the right arm will swing up, and we come into our reverse warrior one. Cartwheel both hands down. Left hand stays planted, right hand up. Spinal twist. Right hand comes down. We'll bring that right foot back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Shift our weight to the right foot. Left foot raises, three-legged dog. Draw the knee into the chest. Swing the foot through. Rotate the back foot. Warrior one. Open up to warrior two. Our rotation. Cartwheel both hands down. Right hand stays planted, left hand up. Left hand comes down. And we'll do the Vinyasa flow, or you can wait in a downward facing dog. So that left foot will come back for our plank. Lower to your mat. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale back down to our mat. Plank. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply, look to the top of our mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to our flat back. Chair. And press up to mountain. And breathe. Have you heard yours at all yet? Okay, I thought we should be. I was getting nervous, guys. I'm like, if we have only done 10 minutes, I'm getting tired. All right, let's do one more level and then we'll begin our cool down. So inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to our downward facing dog. Shift our weight to our left foot, right foot raises, three-legged dog. Knee to chest. Swinging the foot through to come to our warrior one. So rotate that back foot, lifting. Open up to warrior two. This time we're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to bump back the left hip. Reach as far forward as you can before coming down into a triangle. So pretend that you're in between two walls and you have to squeeze in between there so those shoulders stay stacked. You can support yourself on your shin if you need to, or you can bring that hand beside your leg and just use all those beautiful muscles we've been building to support. And now we're going to do a rotated triangle. So the left hand comes down and the right hand comes up. Gentle bend in that right knee. We'll come down to our low lunge. Left hand stays planted. Right hand lifts. Spinal twist. Right hand comes down. Bring that right foot back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Shift our weight to our right foot, left foot raises. Three-legged dog. Draw that knee into the chest. Swing the foot through. Lifting to warrior one. Open up to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Bump the hip out as we reach forward with that left hand until you can't anymore. And come down to the ankle, looking up to the right hand if it's comfortable. And now we'll rotate. So our right hand comes down and the left hand comes up. Cartwheel both hands down, low lunge. Right hand stays planted, left up, last spinal twist. And left hand comes down. We'll bring that left foot back, plank, lower to your mat, lift up to your cobra, float back down to the mat, press through your plank, downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply, look to the top of your mat, make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. Exhale into chair. Press up to mountain. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to downward facing dog. You know this is our last one, make it a good one. Drop both knees. Coming to tabletop first, and then with the legs together, we're gonna let those hips sink back to the heels. We'll rest the forehead on our mat and draw both hands down alongside our body into a resting child's pose. Rolling up to a seated position into hero. If you need to come up on your knees here, you can. Interlace our fingers and let's roll out those wrists. Press the palms away from the body. And all the way up. As we release, we can go ahead and swing those legs around. Scooch to the top of your mat so you can roll down and make your way to your mat. All right, let's plant the left foot on your mat so your left knee is bent. And we're gonna lift that right leg up to the ceiling. We'll start with our ankle circles. Make sure you go in both directions. And let's draw circles on the ceiling, just about the size of a face clock. A clock face. The face of a clock. Small circles. And we'll go in the opposite direction. And now you might want to have your hands out to both sides of you like a T. We're going to make big circles. So we'll let that right leg come all the way out to the side. The left comes down and then straight back up. Now if you want to straighten that left leg and make this a little bit more challenging, you can. Really activate your core. This is going to use all of the muscles depending on where you are in your rotation. So take advantage of those muscles. And once you've done 5, we're going to switch directions. So you'll go straight down first, and then up and around. Once you've done your 5, you can gentle the V, but you're going to let that left leg fall all the way across the body here. Now you want to keep both shoulders anchored. So that knee might not come anywhere near touching the earth, and that's fine. You're going for that hip flexor stretch or supine spinal twist. And if it feels good, you can look over the right shoulder. We're going to go ahead and roll back onto our back, so we'll plant the right foot down, keeping that right knee bent. And we'll lift the left foot up to the ceiling, and we'll start first with our ankle circles. And go in both directions. And then with the toes, trace that small circle onto the ceiling, 5 in each direction. And once we're ready for the bigger circles, if you want to straighten that right leg out, you can. That is your call. And going 5 in each direction. Once you've done your 5, let that leg fall all the way across your body. Plant both shoulders. And really, when you breathe, we try to do this whenever we stretch, just try to relax, like let go into the stretch. And then if it feels good, you can look over that left shoulder. Some days it just doesn't feel good to do that though, and that's okay. We're going to roll all the way onto our back then. So our left foot is planted, knee is bent. We'll draw that right foot up and walk both heels as close to our sits bones as we can get them. Draw both hands down alongside our bodies. And we're going to start by tilting that pelvis, pressing the lower back into the mat, but we're going to keep going. So we're going to lift that pelvis up off of the mat. Feel each vertebrae pull up one at a time. And we'll come into a supported bridge. Keep those knees pressing towards each other. And slowly, one vertebrae at a time, we'll lower back down to the earth. And we're going to come into the Shavasana portion of the practice. So if you want to grab anything to make this more comfortable, maybe a bolster for under your knees or something to support your neck, you do what you like to do at this time. Go ahead and straighten out your legs when you're ready. We start Shavasana with a full body scan, during which we try to consciously just release and relax all of our body so that we come into that amazing corpse pose that allows us just to absorb that quiet and that peace. With every breath in and out, just think of letting go a little bit more. Feel yourself growing heavier into your mat, melting into the earth. And go ahead and start at the tips of your toes. Feel the relaxation, feel that release. Just slowly creep up the body. Feel your feet just becoming loose and free. Sensation will continue as it crawls up the calves. And into the thighs. Feel the energy slip out of the hands. And allow it to leave the arms. Make the tension leave the shoulders. Breathe into that space. Let go. And feel that relaxation gently move up the neck. Allow the jaw to grow slack. And any tension left in the face, just breathe and let it go. And imagine feeling all of that stress and anxiety just being pushed out of the crown of your head, because you don't need it anymore.